Now you might be wondering, where does the ZV-1F fit in the entire Sony camera line? Like, is it a replacement of the Sony ZV-1? No, it's actually a new addition to the ZV camera line. Now I love the ZV-1, I adore the ZV-1. In fact, it's my go-to top-down camera to do unboxings and stuff like that, but it's not the best camera to vlog with because of the focal length. It's a little bit too tight for my liking, but if I'm filming B-roll of other people, then yeah, the ZV-1 is the camera to bring with you. The only thing when you're zooming in with the ZV-1 is that the aperture changes. In fact, it increases, and I'm not a big fan of that. I love shooting at low apertures, like at f2.8 or lower, which is why I think the ZV-1F is the perfect compact camera for vlogging. This can shoot down to f2.0, but has a wider focal length than the ZV-1. The ZV-1F has a fixed 20mm prime lens, which I think is totally wide enough for vlogs. It doesn't have an internal electronic ND filter like the ZV-1, but it does have a filter thread in front of the lens so that you can attach your very own ND filter. In fact, the one that I have is from Earth. Look how cute this ND filter is. And in a way, I kind of like having an external ND filter attached to the front of the lens because there I can control the exposure as I'm vlogging. There it is, there you go. That's what it looks like, really nice. Do I wish that the ZV-1 had an internal electronic ND? Of course, that'd be really cool, but I think that's reserved for the ZV-1. Also, the ZV-1F is a very budget-friendly camera at $499 US. So you are gonna have some compromises with the camera, like the lack of an internal electronic ND. All right, so on my right hand is the Sony ZV-1, and on the other hand is the ZV-1F. They look nearly identical. Like body-wise, they look exactly the same. They feel, yeah, they feel the same. The ZV-1 is a little bit slimmer, but it does feel a little bit heavier, probably because of the zoom lens. Both cameras have pretty much all the same button layout, but on the top of the camera is where some of those differences lie. So with the ZV-1, you have a hot shoe, and so there's like little electronic pins where you can attach accessories like the Sony digital mic, where you can then control the audio from there. Where the ZV-1F has a cold shoe, so no electronic pins. You can't use Sony's digital mics like the B10 or the B1. You can use the Sony G1, however, as long as you plug in that audio plug into the camera. And honestly, I think that's totally fine because I think the vast majority of people have some sort of Rode mic. And so if you want to vlog with a ZV-1F with your external mic, you can totally plug it in. Also, the onboard microphone of the cameras should be the same, but the design of it is a little bit different. The grill on the ZV-1F, they look like bigger holes, where the ZV-1F looks a little more refined. Honestly, I can't tell the difference between the two, but honestly, I don't really like using onboard mics of any camera anyway. I mean, they're usable, they totally are in a pinch, but yeah, I'd much prefer using an external mic. And then just to show you an example of what the onboard mic sounds like from the ZV-1F, this is the audio. It's not gonna sound good. I mean, it's usable in a pinch for sure, but it's always gonna be better capturing cleaner audio with an external mic. All right, I got the Sony G1 attached to the ZV-1F, and this is what the audio sounds like. I forgot to attach the little windscreen, so you might hear a gust of wind on the mic, but as far as like audio levels goes, the G1 definitely should sound better. Oh, and a big notable difference between the ZV-1 and the ZV-1F is the menu. The ZV-1F has a touchscreen menu interface, which is so cool and very similar to the menu screen as the A7S III and A7 IV. Would you rather get a fixed plane license or a helicopter license?
I already made that choice. Fixed plane.
Fixed plane. You can fly planes now?
Yeah.
Wow. Why are you so much cooler than me? Here I am making like review videos. You want to switch? What else? The zoom's the same. Oh, there's a cool feature called step zoom. So instead of using the zoom rocker to like zoom in gradually, you can actually zoom in by 1.5 times if you're filming in a 4K, or 2 times if you're filming in an HD by pressing a button. All right, so right now I am filming Tyler, and I'm going to use the step zoom feature to quickly zoom in on my shot. So kind of very similar to APS-C mode on full frame cameras. Really, really cool. All right, so now we're filming in HD, and now we're going to step zoom by 1.5 times. That's what it looks like right there. And now I'm going to zoom in by 2 times. Boom, ka-chow. And then if you want on the screen, you can actually zoom out as if the zoom rocker was on the screen, or zoom in gradually. But yeah, just a really cool feature that's different than the ZV-1. All right, so now I'm gonna have a Tyler model for us because I kind of want to compare the ZV-1F and the ZV-1 and film them cinematically. Start with the ZV-1, and I'm going to use the internal ND and try to shoot as low as I can. And yeah, do a nice little orbit shot. Let's try that. All right.
You want it like right here?
Something like that, yeah. So internal ND is on. Let's see, I'll try to shoot as low as I can, f2.8. All right, so now I'm filming with the Sony ZV-1. It's still overexposed. I'm shooting at f1.8, ISO 125 with the ND turned on. Here's what it looks like off. So yeah, really blown out. We're gonna turn that bad boy on. I might have to bump up the aperture, man. Let's see. Let's pump it up to 2. That's what it looks like. Yeah, really blown out. So yeah, having an external ND filter really helps in this kind of situation. I'm about to change up the shutter speed just so I can film at the right aperture. So I'm just gonna do a nice orbit shot around you. All right, so my shutter speed is 1/60th of a second. Here we go. Gotta turn up the shutter speed now. There we go. So you get some bokeh, but you do have to crank up the shutter speed. So yeah, it looks all right. Looks all right. All right, that's at f2.0. Now, if I wanted to keep the same shutter speed so that the motion blur looks a little more natural at 1/50th of a second, I have to increase the aperture. It's about f4, f5, or f4.5. Okay, here we go. So that's what it looks like. So I'm doing an orbit shot. And yeah, everything's in focus, including the background. And that may or may not be your cup of tea, but that's what it looks like on the ZV-1. All right, so now I'm filming with the ZV-1F. It looks overexposed right now, but I'm going to twist the ND filter to expose properly. That looks pretty good. And I'm gonna shoot at the proper camera settings, proper motion blur at 1/50th of a second, shooting at f2.0, ISO 125, no picture profiles at all. And yeah, it looks so good right now. Look at that. That looks so nice. Do a little orbit shot. Get a little blur in the background. Looks really nice. It's definitely usable. Like, I can use this shot with my other Sony cameras. And the great thing with the ZV-1F is that I can zoom without changing the aperture. So let's go ahead and zoom in. I can still zoom in. It doesn't change the aperture. Yeah, this is such a great camera. All right, so some final thoughts. Which ZV camera is right for you? Well, if you're looking for a very simple camera to vlog with, to stream with, then the ZV-1F is the camera for you. I think the 20mm focal length is a great wide lens to vlog with, and I really like some of the cool new features of the ZV-1F, like the swipe up function menu, you know, to access those different settings on the camera instead of like pressing the function button on the back. That's pretty cool. And also the shot mark feature where you select 15 seconds or 30 or 60-second increments of a specific clip and send that clip straight to your phone so that you can upload to Instagram or TikTok. So those features are totally cool. I am a little bit bummed that the cold shoe is only a cold shoe, like there's no digital pins on top so that you can use accessories like the Sony digital mics, and also bummed about the lack of an internal ND filter of the camera. But again, those are all compromises that make the ZV-1F a budget-friendly camera. Now, if you're looking for a camera that's a bit more well-rounded, that has a pretty decent zoom and has features like an internal ND, then the ZV-1 is probably the camera for you. In fact, the ZV-1 is my permanent top-down camera. It's perfect, it's great, it's light enough so I can set it on my overhead rig. The product showcase feature makes it perfect for unboxings and showing products to the camera. And just like the ZV-1F, it's small enough for me to take around and just film some cool stuff with my family and friends if I don't want to carry big cameras like the FX3. So if you're looking for more of a well-rounded camera, then the ZV-1 is probably for you. And if you're looking for a camera to grow with, meaning that you want to buy lenses in the future, whether they're APS-C lenses or full frame lenses, then the Sony ZV-E10 might be the camera for you. I made review videos about the ZV-E10 and the ZV-1, so definitely check them out if you want more information about it. But all three ZV cameras are great in their own different ways. It just depends on what you're looking for. And if I'm being really honest, who I think the ZV-1F is perfect for are streamers. Like, if you think about it, the camera is so small and compact and has the perfect focal length to capture a wide enough shot that you can place it anywhere on your stream setup, like next to the monitor, on top of the monitor, like really wherever you want. And the fact that you can live stream with this camera by using one single USB-C cable without the need of a video capture card makes it the ideal minimal setup for all your live streams. And of course, you can plug in your own mic if you want to, but yeah, I think streamers would benefit the most with a camera like the Sony ZV-1F. So that is the Sony ZV-1F. Let me know what you think about this camera in the comments below. Also, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. But I think it's time for lunch, Tyler. Shall we go for lunch? It's time to go for lunch. Yeah, we're gonna go for lunch. All right, guys, see you later. Can you really fly a plane?
Oh yeah.
That's cool.